She was known as the world's most optimistic woman. She'd had her heart broken 20 times, yet she still managed to smile every single day. The strange part was, at 35 and unmarried, she suddenly had a daughter. The girl's name was Nico. To understand how this happened, we have to go back to when she was 16, fresh out of school and new to the world. She fell for a man who loved gambling, but just 1 month later, the man vanished without a trace. He left Nico saddled with a crushing debt. It took her 11 long years to pay it all off. Despite this disastrous first love, Nico still believed in romance. Soon, she fell for a restaurant waiter. What she didn't know was that this man, who claimed to be a student, was actually living the high life on Nico's dime. By the time she discovered the truth, he had already cycled through 10 other girlfriends. Still, this didn't break her. At 30, she moved to a new town for a fresh start. It wasn't long before she met a married office worker. His maturity drew her in. Just 3 days into their relationship, he started asking to borrow money for divorce compensation. The amount started small but kept growing. When the total reached 3 million yen, Nico learned his wife had just had another baby. He never had any intention of leaving her. Furious, Nico went to confront him, but when she saw the baby stroller parked at his door, her heart sank, and she turned away. She couldn't bring herself to hurt an innocent child. By the time Nico turned 33, she met who she thought would be the last man in her life. He called himself a novelist. He used Nico's money to buy stacks of books for his research, but his laziness took over. He never wrote a single word. Nico wasn't even angry. She cared for him even more, simply because he stayed and didn't chase other women. Plus, her daughter, Kyoko, loved reading all the books he bought. You might be wondering when Kyoko came into the picture. For that, you'll have to watch the original film. Just as Nico settled into the idea of their little family of 3, the man disappeared. He left only a note that read, "I am going to die in my hometown." In a panic, Nico took Kyoko and boarded a train. They headed for his hometown in a heavy snowstorm. So there was Nico, 35 years old, with 8-year-old Kyoko in tow, knocking on doors in a strange town, searching for him. They never found him, but the story of their search quickly spread around the port town. After all the hardship, Nico was utterly exhausted. She decided to stop running and build a life right there. The townsfolk didn't know her past, but they were drawn to her warm, open-hearted nature. A kind old man rented them a boat to live on for almost nothing, and gave Nico a job at his yakitori restaurant. So every morning, Nico went to work, and Kyoko went to school. They finally had an ordinary, stable life. No more wandering. As time passed, however, Kyoko started to notice she looked nothing like her mother. Their features were completely different. So were their habits and mannerisms. She couldn't find a single similarity, but Kyoko didn't dwell on it. Nico treated her with immense love and care. Even when Nico was dead tired after work, she would still take Kyoko's clothes out of the washer and hand wash them carefully before going to bed. And Kyoko was a thoughtful child. Whenever she saw her mother was worn out, she would get out the ingredients and make Nico a special spaghetti meat sauce. It was just a simple plate of pasta, but it filled their small home with warmth and happiness. If you were Nico, after so many failed relationships, would you still be willing to believe in love?